Gentlemen and ladies, the news has arrived. We hear that Atiku's counsel in faraway Chicago, USA, have received the documents from the Chicago State University, and in a couple of hours' time, the document will be released. It was received by mail, and then, of course, Tinubu's counsel have been in everywhere in Chicago, shopping for any court that they will use to appeal the case or get a stay on execution. But of course, it's been very difficult because it's not Nigeria where something is happening at do and then they just quickly run to Kano and obtain some form of injunction. Also, while that is going on, they have also reached out, according to words on the street, so reached out to Atiku's lawyer for them to hold on a possible delay on the deposition time, where the officials of CSU, that Chicago State University, will have to come and swear under oath for those documents that were released as being certified true copies of those documents. Well, that has been said, but of course, the Atiku's counsel has refused. Unfortunately, the Tinubu's counsel, who are in Nigeria, are telling us and reminding us that it will be useless to us, that the Supreme Court could not admit any of these documents. And that's what we have continually said. Obviously, just like we saw in the elections, would see that Tinubu counsel agreeing or speaking on behalf of INEC speaking on behalf of APC, and now just before the Court of Appeal judgment, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal Court had that judgment. A certain Mary Odili was speaking on behalf of them. I think we continually heard Tinubu's counsel speaking for them. But our joy is whether this again lead to a logical conclusion or give us what we are seeking, what we have been waiting for. It helps to show that Tinubu for once has met with stiff opposition from young people in this country. Of course, you should know by now that Atiku rode on the whiz and intelligence of this young man called David Hundeyin. And of course, I think at this moment we should give David his flowers. Wherever you are, let's share this video. Let's celebrate David. Make a comment for David in the comment section. Celebrate him. Make posts of him. This young man has really shown that you can pursue a cause for the good of your motherland, irrespective. This man is living abroad. He's probably enjoying his stay there. Of course, he's on exile. Yeah, but he's been doing so much, and I think he would have been like most Nigerians, just stay back in what they do and enjoy all the benefit. But he has put that aside and continue to push for a better country. Shame on all of you that said doesn't matter whether the certificate forger remains president, whether the certificate were forged. Shame on all of you. I thought we were fighting for a noble country. Sometimes, and Dad used to say before he left then, that as a son, you are there. When you commit a crime, understand that you'll be made to face the law. No matter how much you love a man, if the man is said to be a criminal or is said to have committed crimes against humanity, committed crimes against systems, against the laws of any land, you should allow the law to take its course. But fortunately, our politics here is governed by sentiment of ethnicity and religion, basically, before other irrelevant sentiment is being mentioned. But that will not change. Again, like I've said, there are several ways where these documents can penetrate the Supreme Court. You have about 2 days, 3 days, 5th, to the expiration of the time that Atiku has to be able to file this particular in his appeal to the Supreme Court. But whether it works or not, the truth is, I'm happy I have been able to drag Tinubu by his balls. His balls has fed the heat. Before elections, he said he doesn't go to social media because they abuse the hell out of him. But of course, by now, the man has spent so much money, has spent time. He has now realized that there's a generation. No party in this country will ever do this mistake that APC did this year, giving their ticket to somebody who do not qualify, who has got criminal records, and who by any chance is not verifiable. I'm sure we have been able to create that sanity. Again, the expectations are not so much here because I understand, and no disrespect meant for the Chicago State University. I understand that politics can still be played, irrespective of any form of anything being said. They can still play a lot of politics, but we will still not allow that to become the situation. We're not Wales, but I'm happy. And then this is just the beginning of many other beginnings that will begin and make us know, in fact, that we are headed. I want us to use this post as a David Hodein's appreciation post. And then I'm going to allow you to see a short clip of Tinubu lawyers boasting that nothing will happen, that no matter what we collect from, it means therefore that they have owned that there's a criminal document coming, or a document that will indict their principal. If you say it will not be useful, I'm not expecting to be in the negative when you say something will not be useful, it will not be accepted in Supreme Court. It means therefore that you know that there is something that is supposed to actually come. Have you? You didn't get that. Use your tongue to counter it. I'll allow you to see that video. Then I'll give you a short clip of David as well, where he spoke about his passion for this country and why he has chosen to pursue this cause against all odds, even against his life, against against the tides. The man is at risk. He's facing a lot of plan by the ruling party to extradite him back to this country and deal with him. But the man has stood firm. I pray that God gives us 100 David ordained in this country that will not choose their battles based on religion and ethnicity. I will focus on this country, so to speak. I want you to see this video and share this video. Let the news go round that for once again, for after over 40 years of lies that have remained in office, Nigeria won.
Breaking news, Nigerians. Reactions after Tinubu's lawyer said any document Atiku gets from Chicago State University is no longer useful. You can imagine the impunity. Babatunde Ugala, son, the personal lawyer of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had stated that whatever document that the Chicago State University hands over to Atiku Abubakar is no longer useful.
Nigeria's president now isn't only a drug criminal, but potentially someone who potentially has committed identity theft. Right? This issue is in court now in Chicago and in Nigeria. And I just think it's amazing that for more than 30 years, he's somehow been able to sort of get away with all of this without being asked these questions. I think this is the first time his feet are actually being put to the fire. It's a pity that under Nigerian law, he was actually able to be sworn into office before these legal challenges could actually be completed. But I guess someone has to do the job. So here we are. I've been on this since last year. You obviously you know that I published a story, I did a documentary, and in the process of trying to get information from the DEA, the FBI, CIA, the IRS, the State Department, and U.S. attorneys, I kept running into a brick wall because they kept saying he's a private individual, privacy concerns, blah 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 blah. So it wasn't until after he was actually declared winner of the election that I could then actually, you know, send a proper freedom of information request, which they would have to action. So which we did in March, and so I did that in collaboration with Aaron Greenspan of PlayInsight.org. Now, after sending that FOIA, the expectation was that since this person is now a president-elect, they would obviously have to honor the FOIA. Instead, they got back to us saying they're not going to honor the FOIA because of this thing called privacy concerns. And it made no sense to us. How can you invoke privacy concerns for someone who is a public figure, who's not a private individual? So we decided to test this in court. So in collaboration with Aaron, so Aaron actually filed the lawsuits, but I basically paid all the filing fees and whatnot. So we basically filed this lawsuit jointly. So we sued 6 U.S. government agencies. We sued the FBI, we sued the CIA, the IRS, the DEA, the State Department, and U.S. attorneys. Initially, when they got back to with their initial response in court, I think this was in July, they had mentioned something about 2026 being the potential date for resolution. So I didn't really think much was going to come of it so soon. And then on Friday, I was in the shower. roughly around this time on Friday last week, I was in the shower and I came out of the shower and I saw a message from Aaron on my phone and he was like, I have very good news. And I thought, what on earth could it be? Then he sent me a document and I opened it and I couldn't believe what I was seeing because essentially all 6 agencies which we had sued all said one by one they're going to honor the FOIAs.